to be a Daniel, dare to stand alone, dare to have a purpose firm, dare to make it known.
Hi, JA Kids!
My name is Martessa.
And my name is Kristen.
Today we will uncover Step 7 of the 12 steps for kids that could keep you from ever having to use alcohol or drugs.
Step 7 says, I will humbly ask for Jesus' help in making better choices.
What does humbly mean? Is it a sound effect like rumbling?
Not exactly. Humbly comes from the word humble. It is more of an attitude that we can have inside ourselves.
What is an attitude? Is it like being proud?
Yes, humble is actually the opposite of proud. Being humble means honestly seeing yourself as someone who is not perfect and makes mistakes.
It's when we realize we are not perfect that we are open to God's help.
You know, I remember a story about King David humbly asking God to help him make better choices.
You mean the David who killed the giant Goliath?
Yes, except at the time of this story, David had been king of Israel for many years. He was an important leader and the people respected his decisions.
King David was a very good king, but he was far from perfect.
One day, David was up on the roof of his palace talking with his old friend Joab.
Joab was one of David's best soldiers and had been loyal to David almost from the beginning.
David had made Joab the captain of his army.
"We've come a long ways since the days of hiding in caves from King Saul," David commented.
Sure, Joab replied.
"I can just remember the day we captured Jerusalem. You were the first to climb the shaft into the city. Wasn't that an exciting time?"
Sure was.
"I wonder how many men we have now. Probably a lot compared to the 600 we had to start with. We would sure beat those Philistines now with no problem."
Sure thing. No problem.
"Say, I wonder how many men we have now anyways. We should count them all."
Sir?
"It would be a big expedition traveling all over the country like that and talking to so many people.
Sir!
I would need an experienced person to head it up. What about you, Joab?
Me?
You like to travel. How about heading up the program?"
Sir! I'm not so sure about this. It seems like a mighty big mistake to me. Wouldn't all the people come to help you if you ever needed them? Why would you need to count them all?
But David would not listen to Joab. He was too excited about the idea.
So Joab reluctantly started off across the country to count how many men were of the age to join the military.
Say, what was so bad about counting the people anyway?
There are two reasons why counting the people would be a bad idea. First, God had told the kings of Israel never to count the people unless God himself told them to.
Oh, so that was David's first mistake. He didn't even ask God if he could count the people.
Yep, you're right. And second, by counting all the people, David showed that he was relying on the number of men in his army rather than on God. If the people saw him doing that, they would stop worshiping God.
Oh, that's why Joab wasn't too sure about it. He knew David wasn't thinking straight.
Yep, David was proud of his accomplishments and was not thinking about all the things God had done to get him there.
Of course, Joab hadn't always been the best one to follow God.
But he had learned enough not to rely on his own strength and to rely on God instead.
What happened to Joab and David next?
Joab went anyway. What could he do? David was king and must be obeyed. It took a while for the decision to sink in for David, but then he realized how proud and disobedient he had been to count the people.
When Joab brought back the final number, David humbly admitted that by counting the people, he had been proud and disobeyed God.
He saw that he had trusted his own strength rather than God's. He knew he was wrong. God had made him everything he was.
Right then, he prayed to God, admitting that he had sinned and asking for forgiveness.
But it was too late to escape the consequences.
David chose to have God decide what the punishment would be.
An angel came and struck the land with sickness.
Many of the people died.
When David knew it, he cried,
"This was my mistake. Why do all these people have to suffer too? Let the sickness rest only on me and my family."
Then David quickly went to where the angel was and gave a special offering to God to show how sorry he was. God withdrew the sickness from the people.
David's pride caused him to make a bad choice, and it hurt a lot of people.
But did you notice how David responded? He humbly asked God to help him make better choices.
Hey, that sounds like step 7. I will humbly ask for Jesus' help in making better choices.
What if we say it together?
I will humbly ask for Jesus' help in making better choices. Now repeat after me. Be bold.
Be bold.
Be brave.
Be brave.
Be different.
Be different.
I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Tune in next time.
Dare to be a Daniel, dare to stand alone, dare to have a purpose firm, dare to make it known.